Okay.
So thank you for coming, Lisa, and you have the floor. Take us away.
So heartily welcome, Australia and all over the world, beloved horse people and everywhere and anywhere you are. It's my passion to teach. I want to show up you a little true story because I want to do it. Years ago, in the very beginning of my medical work, I'm a health practitioner in Germany. I had a music friend. She and me, we did medieval music together with violin and flutes and pipes and whatever, and drums. And her mother fell totally ill with a bacteria in her intestinum, Clostridium. And she was lying in the hospital, and she called me, my music friend, and said, "Lisa, please come, my mother is up to die." And long story short told, she was in a hospital. The doctors gave her up because they had no idea what to do. And the family asked me for help. And I suggested to take her home and start with frequency and information medicine and mosaic medicine, which means all the parts of total holistic details. Yes, change the nutrition, change the supplements, change all of this, become spiritual in any way. And this was a long way, 150 kilometers from me to her, and I was alone in the car, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm in the very, very beginning of my medical career. If 3 hospitals and 3 doctors wouldn't have helped her, how me, tiny little person, should do this? What would I do? I began to trust in God and the universe, and I begged and demanded help from the higher divine source to guide me in this case to find the right decisions, the right words, the right things to do. And I promised the universe, if I would be successful, I will give the knowledge of information medicine and frequency medicine in the world. And a few years ago, she and her husband have had their 50th wedding anniversary, and the lady is still alive.
Wow. How long did that take?
This is some years ago. This was some years ago, and she's still alive, and she's wonderful, and she's in a good health, and she stayed with the other life rhythm. This was long before we have had healing. I started with a TimeWaver and a magnetic converter, and all the details that can be helpful. And this is my kind of medicine. I called it mosaic medicine because it's not only vitamins, it's not only frequencies, it's not only this or that. It's the right combination with the rhythm, with the structure, and with the basic knowledgement. And this is what I want to tell you. This is the conclusion of all I want to tell you in the beginning. It's not one single thing. It's several, a combination of several topics. They fit together in the big picture of a mosaic. I took the mosaic picture because there are tiny little stones. They build together a holistic whole big picture. And this is my metaphor for medicine, for men and for human, and especially for horses. I was grown up with horses, and I love horses very much. And in the best time, I owned 14 horses on my farm. But after the divorce, I quit all. And 8 years, I had no horse. And now I have a Spanish horse, a little mare, and she is. She has had a special story, which I have written in a blog post. And if you want to read it, I will give you the links afterwards. I'm not so perfectly in using the computers, especially my TimeWaver and my frequency, but the information links from the website. Christine, I think I will collect some interesting links and what we can do for horses and for animals and what I offer and where you can find all this. I will afterwards create a little document where I fit all together, and I will send it to you. And if you want, and the others want, you can transmit it to the others.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And can I just say that
the best idea, but by typing in the chat and searching and finding, I think the time together we should profit to answer questions and to pose questions, and afterwards I will give you all the information. And I have here a pencil. I will take some notes, and what you need and what is asked, I will put it afterwards all together. Okay?
Sounds wonderful. And can I just note that your philosophy that the Healy isn't enough, that you have to focus on your inner state, you have to focus on your meditation, you have to do your breathing exercises, you have to eat right, you have to get your exercise, you have to think positive thoughts, feel, try to improve your emotions, the whole thing. And so you've landed in a bunch of people who really have the same philosophy you do.
Yes, which is wonderful. But it's not only to take the right things, it's to leave the right things. Yes, to get rid of negative people, to get rid of toxins, to get rid of electrosmog and some things like this, to get rid of habits that are not useful for us. The same way we should take good things, we should leave and get rid of bad things. And this is for our horses too. It's not only the latest frequency or the latest vitamin or a wonder saddle or whatever. It's not that. It's the holistic, the whole big picture of several building blocks on the mosaic medicine.
Perfect.
So this was my story, how I came to teaching and spreading information. And this is what I love to do most, besides being with my patients and clients. And so you can ask me what you want. Some questions we can ask quickly. Some questions are very personal, and I would do it one-to-one. And other questions we have to, it's useful to do a TimeWaver analysis for seeing the hidden causes and the conclusions, what the information field tells us about the holistic picture. And sometimes it's not possible to answer it in a public place. I will hope to do my very best and give you the most useful answers ever possible. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lisa Golda. I'm 53 years old, and I'm living in Germany between Cologne and Düsseldorf. It's in West Germany. And I have been TimeWaver therapist since 13 years, since the very beginning of TimeWaver. And afterwards, we got the TimeWaver frequency, TimeWaver home and Healy and whatever. And with all this, this is the most interesting thing I ever got in my life. And I was and be every time more and more enthusiastic about this kind of information and frequency medicine. And I want to inspire you to do it too, to use it and include it in your daily routine, in your daily life, and with the horses too. And horses are so sensitive. They respond wonderful to frequency and information medicine. In my, not only opinion, in my experience, that it's worthwhile to work with frequencies and information medicine with horses, because they are not so head focused and mind focused like people. They are open to the rhythms of universe.
Great. So we already have a question from Helen, who is the 637657092. She's told me why she is only turning up with her phone and no pictures. But Helen is, in fact, partly trained in Germany, equine osteopath. So Helen will have some interesting questions, I'm sure. So Lisa, would you like the questions to start now?
Yes.
Okay, who has the first question? Is it Ray's cat or is it Helen's clients? Sylvia, does your horse have a question?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. Soon.
Did anyone prepare a question? Christine, did you prepare any questions maybe from your audience? I don't know.
No, I have left it to, I've left it quite spontaneous, but I do have a question of my own. Last week, a very young horse whacked her cannon bone below the carpal joint and above the fetlock, whacked her cannon bone, and on x-ray, there's quite a large lump and there may be a fracture. What would you recommend that we do for that young horse? It's a 3-year-old filly.
3-year-old. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she had a bit of trauma in her life.
Yes. At first, make sure that she is quiet and calm. This is the most thing. If she's excited, she will emit some stress hormones, and the stress hormones disturb all the things that we are doing in silence. So at stress, yes, we are full of attentions. This is fight or flight modus, yes, and especially because horses are flight animals and they get shocked and stressed very easily. And all the stress hormones disturb the healing factor because they make us acidic. Not only human, but horses too. And if
horses are people too.
Yes, of course. Yeah. We have nearly the same metabolism, even if our digestive tract is a little bit different. But we are all of us. We live in the same natural frequencies and in the same natural environment. So our function is very, very similar. So again, back to the horse. If the horse has stress, the body will become acidic. And while the body will become acidic and the cells become acidic, the pH is falling, as well as the microvoltage in the cell membrane tension. That means the cells, they need the membrane tension from -50 to -70 or 90 millivolt. This is the optimal state that they can work, they can do their metabolism, that the cell can repair itself. But if the cell becomes acidic, then the microvoltage falls and it's not more able to repair itself. So, other conclusion, if we want that the horse repairs itself by the bone, we need to have an alkaline state of the body, and that we will get with no stress. So leave the horse together with other horses that they love, and that this is 1, 2, 3 horses. They are very, very friendly with it. That are no horse would get another stress. Then it's very important that the horse has sunlight and enough water, because the sunlight creates the vitamin D3 too, and helps us and helps everyone to create new bones and to repair the bones. Yes, if you are able, you can supply vitamin D3 as well as magnesium, and if you start to eat the magnesium, yes, Sylvia, please.
It dropped out.
You've frozen, Lisa. Marcella, when Lisa comes back on, do you want to talk about the horse's diet, supplements, and things like that?
Well, I would like to hear if she got any other like. I think she's going.
Understand you, Sylvia.
Lisa, you've frozen.
Yes.
Because
am I back?
You're back.
Yes, you are
I'm
back.
back.
But we missed
Okay.
a couple of minutes.
Okay, so if it's frozen, please interrupt me the same moment, because I could hear you all the time very,
you could
very
hear
good.
us. Oh,
Yes, perfectly,
oh, good.
perfectly.
Usually when
So
you're
I want-
frozen, everything freezes.
Okay, I will go back to the state. So if we want that the bones will heal, we need all the things that the bones need. It's sunlight, it's vitamin D3, it is magnesium. And if I said magnesium, Sylvia interrupted me because I was frozen. So if the horse doesn't like to eat the magnesium, and it's not easy to do the magnesium, we can do a solution with the magnesium. I will type it down, magnesium.
Actually, Lisa, we live in the tropics, so the horses live in paddocks.
Paddocks.
But
And they are
Yes.
all day in the sun.
But in fact,
Okay.
they have rugs on. They always have a blanket on, and but their heads, of course, and their legs are open to the sun, and they're ridden daily. She will rest, of course, because of the injury.
Mhm.
But we also keep our horses normally, our riding horses, in single paddocks, but they're all near each other. And Marcella has it
Yes.
arranged that the horses near her on either side of her paddock are the ones that she likes. Have I got
Okay,
that
this
right,
is very
Marcella?
important.
Yes.
Yes.
Then sometimes took the blanket off, that the sunlight is able to shine on the horse. It's a natural way. And if it's too hot or if it's too cold, the horse can adapt. Like the wild horses, they live in the sunshine all day long.
Yep.
And all life long. Yes, she need it. It's we don't need the blankets for the horse in reconvalescence. Maybe overnight if there's a problem, but let the horse be in the sun and take the sunlight on it.
Good.
Then the magnesium, you can make some magnesium dioxide with a solution. It feels like oil, but it is no oil. It's a solution from the magnesium salt in water. Afterwards, in the document, I will write to you what you can take. And with the solution, it can be you can take it transdermal. That means you can put it on the leg, and the magnesium will go in. Okay. Will be the
You're frozen
important
again.
things.
You just froze again.
Okay.
Maybe we all need to turn our videos off. Let's try that. No, you're still frozen. It's very slow, like underwater. No, you're still frozen. Still frozen. Try again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Lisa?
Christine.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I think it's better now.
It's better now. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I touched anything. Okay.
Look, sometimes it's just the internet, but I do have magnesium, the skin lotion, so I'll take that to the horse on Wednesday. No problem.
Okay.
I have that already.
And there's another thing. We have bones and we have scars, and in the Healy. But the scar modus is not yet to take, because it should be taken only after 6 weeks or later, not before. Before, at the first time, we need the callus construction and the reconstruction of the bone and the bone skin and all the details we need at first. And afterwards, you can use scar, not yet. Yes, at the same, if we have a surgery and afterwards there's the wound, at first we have to do the wound healing, and then after a long time, the scars.
So,
And
So
you,
which
in a-
program would you suggest to start, the joint and bones program from the Pink Dot Healy, or which one would you suggest?
Pink Dot with the bones and
Joint.
joints program.
Joint.
But there is
Yep.
another thing. It's not only this. We have to think holistic. Think about this. We have to think what we need. At first, we have to get rid of the toxins. So put the kidneys on, kidney female, kidney male, and to the kidney meridian. And
Okay.
yes, it's important to get rid of anything. Then there is the protection program of the cell. Yes, in the turquoise page. And there, the cell, you can stimulate the cell itself. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes, and another thing, our liver is important to construct the amino acids and all the little building blocks that we need to reconstruct the organism. That means we have to support every time the liver too. Liver and kidneys are so important.
Great. Anything else?
Yes, I think that it is.
Okay. Now,
Okay, great.
can I ask another question?
Yes.
This is both Marcella and I feel that this is quite a talented horse, and she also has a wonderful attitude. So, but she has had a trauma, and would it be a good idea for me to video the horse and then get online with you and pay for a session with you to talk specifically about that horse?
Yes, this could be, because with the horse waiver and with the TimeWaver, we are able to give animals a voice. And
Right.
I think this is so important, because sometimes we argue what's the matter, and the horse cannot tell us about the past or of the current feelings and emotion what it has. But it's important that we knew what's the matter, and at first we can discover the hidden causes, and second, we can balance it. And third, this is very important for some questions. They are not to be answered because we have no idea how to manage it. We can see whether the trauma is from this life or from pre-birth or from epigenetics. Yes,
Right.
we know that epigenetics is a problem that we can inherit predispositions for a state of now. There are researchers, they have found out that the children's children of Holocaust victims, they have changed genes even if they have never had any war in their life.
Yeah.
So this is not only, this is a universal discoverment. This is not only for men, this is for all kind of animals too. I knew it from dogs. The puppies of a dog can be in a special predisposition because of her mother have had a terrible carriage time or before.
Pregnancy.
Pregnancy, yes. Mm-hmm. This is, I had this with several animals because we never found what is in this life, because there was a horse that was very, very loved in his family and good treated, but there were some things in the past of their parents.
That
So
makes
we have
sense.
to look after it in a TimeWaver session, and then we can discover what's the matter, and then figure out the next steps, what we can do. At all, we can do a balancing situation, balancing with the TimeWaver. If you book a session, you will be 1 month in the TimeWaver for 24/7, the TimeWaver balancing all the time. Okay.
So just let me know, Lisa, and let everybody know, how much do you charge for a session like that? If I were to get on Zoom with you, talk about the horse, show you a video of the horse, how long would it take and how much would you charge for that?
How long will it take? This is an answer I cannot give directly because it's dependent on the case and on what we will do. Yes.
Yep.
And if we have 1 hour, it's about 150 euros, and you can book it. I will give you the link afterwards that you can see. But if you take more hours, more hours, because if you think it's not done with 1 hour, we will work several times on it. You can book several hours, and the price will reduce.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. So we're informed about how to do that. Get in touch with you on your website, pay 150 euros, and then a reduced price if it takes longer. How long does an average session last for a person or for a horse or for whatever?
1 hour. It's normally 1 hour.
Right, okay.
We have several possibilities. If you say, oh, I have an idea, but I don't know if, what shall we do with TimeWaver? You can book 1 hour. It's a 1-to-1 hour, and you can say, okay, in this hour, we will tell the story, we will figure out, and we will have a first look at the details. And afterwards, if we go on, there are several opportunities, but I will talk to them later. But at the first time, we don't know what we need exactly. Okay?
Right. So thank you very much for that information. Now, I'd like to open it up to the floor. Helen has asked several questions on the chat because she can't talk. And I think I'll start by asking one of Helen's questions, and then the rest of you, if you could start to formulate your questions. It doesn't matter if it's for a horse or a human or a cat or a dog or a pet crocodile. You don't probably have much experience with pet crocodiles. Anyway, Helen's question is, once a horse is imprinted, so registered on the device, do you find the Resonance app, okay, so here's the question. Do you find the Blue Dot app just as effective as a surrogate with using the physical attachments? So I think what Helen is asking is there a different effect? And Helen, if you'll let me know if I'm wrong, is it different? And we all know the answer that it is different. Is the blue dot different to the pink dot?
Yes, it is. Let's start with the pink dot. The pink dot is emitting electromagnetic waves if you use it without cables, and it is emitting microcurrent if you use the cables. This microcurrent can affect the cell membrane voltage directly, so it's very corporal to use the pink dot. And the blue dot is information medicine, like homeopathy and like the drops or the globally that you use with homeopathy, but it is used without anything but the information field. And the information field is connected with the device and with the information field of the client, the horse or you or the patient or anyone you have set up in the blue dot. And this information shall go to the higher layers of our holistic world. We don't have only the 4 dimensions like width and length and height. We have the time at the 4th dimension, and then other dimensions. These 4 dimensions are mirrored in a divine layer. There are also 4 divine layers, and in between are 4 transmitting layers that, that translate the divine wish into the materialistic world. For this, we need some layers to manifest, to translate, and to transform the information into energy and the energy into our materialistic world. Because our matter is not as hard as we think so. It's concentrated vibration. Yes, this is because we are responding to the frequency devices. Yes. So what's the blue dot? What's doing? The blue dot can correct the information in the information field before it has materialized. That means you can bring some things in order, in the right order, and overwrite the old negative aspects that has manifested. I hope it is a little bit it's not easy to understand, yes? So the blue dot will help us to treat our information field, to balance our information field, that it is possible with the right and good information to materialize better than the situation that we have now. Okay?
Great. Now I'm going to ask Helen. Do you feel that's enough information for you now, Helen, for this question? And we'll open up the floor to everyone else. And then if there are no other questions, I'll ask the rest of Helen's questions from the chat. You might want to have a look at the chat as well, Lisa. Now, who has a question?
Yes.
Oh, and I want to welcome Graham. Graham, thanks for turning up. We're all we've all muted our videos, closed off our videos because we were having trouble with the connection with Lisa. But now it's fine. So, do you have a question, Graham?
No, not at the moment, but I'm listening with great interest. Thank you, Lisa.
Good.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So, Ray, do you want to talk about your cat, or Alison, do you have a question? Sylvia, you might want to talk about your horse. Marcella, you might have another horse. All right. Now,
maybe it's a little bit spontaneous.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yes, Sylvia.
sorry.
Very well.
Hi, Lisa. My question is for horse or human, but it's with ticks and allergies and reactions and the toxicity within the ticks and helping that get through the body quicker.
Yes. With the ticks, this is an interesting topic because in humans, the ticks and the biting insects can bring us Lyme disease and co-infection. And this is as well to horses and animals. But normally no vet diagnoses Lyme disease with an animal. Yes. The spiritual sense behind this disease is to be sucked off. Yes, people with Lyme disease have very often the character to be wonderful, helping, serving people, and they let themselves be sucked off biting insects and toxic people. And think about this, that horses who are often attacked by insects, by blood-sucking insects, they are very often very kind horses, very serving horses, horses with a good character that want to do all things right. And they are sometimes a little bit in the hierarchy. They are down in the hierarchy and not the top horses and the leader of the team. Yes. So what can you do to strengthen the horse? Strengthen the self-esteem as the horse, that you, in a psychological way, give lots of okay and attention to the horse, that his self-esteem can grow. This is point one. Then you can take all the Healy programs in a mental balance to strengthen the mental balance, the concentration, and to the relax and release from the horse. Because all this being in a lower range of hierarchy means to have stress. And stress means to have an acidic body, an acidic body, that is more easier to be attacked by insects and by infection diseases. Okay,
Yeah.
This is not a direct answer, but what
No,
we
I
can do,
understand what you're saying, yeah, and I'm
yes,
really
we
interested.
can, of course,
Very good.
we can help the horses by using some plants. There is a plant. This is called Cistus incanus. I will type it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the chat? Ah, here.
Can I just quickly ask, isn't Lyme disease in German called borreliosis?
Yes, it's borreliosis.
Yeah.
And the bacteria Borrelia burgdorferi is attacking the organism, but it's not only the Borrelia burgdorferi, but there are lots of co-diseases.
Yes.
And Orthodox medicine doesn't accept all these conclusions. But I have had training a long year before and experience with Borrelia and Lyme disease. And we can do something, but it's a great topic, as well as multiple sclerosis and RLS. They are all related to Borrelia and co diseases, as well as rheum and joint pain and arthritis.
So rheumatism, joint pain, and arthritis are all related.
They are related to Lyme disease, and if there are in a young horse maybe joint problems, we should have a look at Lyme disease and co-infection if there is something happening in the hidden place.
Right. I'm just going to welcome Selena, who's just joined us. And Selena,
Hey, Selena.
there's some notes for you in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Yes, sorry I'm late. I was just having a little bit of problems with my internet connection, but I've got you on my phone and I'm trying to launch it on my computer now. So hopefully.
Great.
Thank you.
So
Thanks for coming.
For all of you have coming a little bit later, I will prepare a document with all the information and give it afterwards to Christine that she can pass it on to you. Okay?
Thank you.
That nobody missed anything, and I will prepare it afterwards.
That's great.
Okay.
And Selena, if you would prepare any questions you have about your mares or your mare and your gelding, then we'll. When you're ready. We've got a list. We've got some other people who might have questions though who've been on longer. So Sylvia's asked hers. Who else wants to ask a question? Ray says.
Well, I'm happy to ask.
That is healthier than all of us. What was that?
I'm happy to ask a question.
Great.
I can ask a question.
Great.
I'm hoping it's relevant. Obviously, it's been in the forefront of my mind. You know, my mare's melanoma, and she's a bay, so it's quite rare. And we're checking her liver levels and kidney function every 6 months. So, yeah, I suppose in the forefront of my mind is what programs I could be running for her to hopefully keep her as healthy as I can during this time.
Mm-hmm. So if there is, no, I want to ask answer in another way. In Germany, where Healy is developed, we have the medical claims for fibromyalgia and pain, and at the other hand, anxiety and sleeping disorders. And all the other programs are wellness programs. So the Healy is not made in its current state to heal diseases, but, and we shall not say it because we can touch the health claim and anything happens. But the TimeWaver and the TimeWaver frequency, which is the therapist device, there are more than 150,000 frequencies inside, and they are very different, very targeted. And in the case of a chronic disease, I would suggest to do a one-to-one TimeWaver session with me or with any other therapist that you trust, to figure out what's behind the scene and which frequency your pet or you yourself or your friend or your client needs really. It's not every time to take any programs that are yet in the Healy, because the world of frequencies is so enormous, different, full of varieties, that we cannot find anything in the blue or pink dot from the standard programs. So if you have a special topic, you need a special program or more than this. If I'm occupied with chronic diseases, I create 12 programs for the client and give a monthly plan how to use in the morning and in the evening, even remotely. And if you have a chronic topic and a wish to do anything, let's do a one-to-one session and figure out what's the individual best for.
So, Selena, we've gone through this, but Lisa charges 150 euros for her first hour. And she suggests that when I'm, for example, going to sign up for a session with Lisa, because Flory has hit her, she's got that injury on her front leg.
Yeah.
We'll get to work on that with specialist programs. And I think that I'll report back to you after that and say, you gotta do it.
Yeah. Look, I mean, that's the thing. And I think the Healy's been wonderful because, you know, it's picked up things with, you know, my mare, you know, even when she's on medication, you know, it'll pick up things about her liver because she's obviously processing medication through her liver. So it would be good to, you know, find a way to take it another step further, and just keep her as healthy as we can.
Yes.
Selena has a mare who is one of those horses that you were talking about. She just gives all the time. It's the kindest, most wonderful horse. You know, I've never been part of buying a horse for a client where the match came out so perfectly as for Selena and this mare.
Christine, is Marcella on here now?
Yes, Marcella is on.
Is Marcella on here?
Yes, Marcella.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you a funny story about Marcella on the weekend with Kira.
Okay.
It was so cute. If she hasn't told you already.
No, we'll hear that later.
She was just, yeah, we'll tell it later. It was lovely. Yeah.
I want to give you some hints for using the programs for which you can start here and now. Is every time the kidneys and the liver and 2 toxins and the lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system helps us to detoxify the rest of the medicaments, the environmental toxins, and helps us to strengthen the detoxifying organs, the organ system. This is the case you can do anytime, as well as the psychological programs like relax and release from the gold cycle, or from the mental side. This is extreme stress or chronic stress. There are several stress programs, and this is for all of you and all of the horses who are related to stress reaction. You in the evening, you can, if you own several horses, you can create a group and send remotely the anti-stress programs via photo or via Blue Dot to the Healy and to the stable. Okay?
You can do a group of horses or people or whatever?
Yes, if you have the Blue Dot, you can create a group, and you can put on all your, if you have 5 horses or whatever, you can put all the horses and send them all together, maybe the relax, maybe the cell protection or whatever. You can do lots of things. Yes. I
Right.
have done several workshops with Healy, what we can do, and have done a wonderful workshop for Healy and animals too. And it's the recording is still available. In addition to several explanation pictures and PDFs that you will get all. You will get not only the recording, but too the script, an explanation picture that you can print out, and the tables for the meridians and how to use it, and it's wonderful.
Can we all,
That could have been,
there wasn't
could
a
have been
Oh,
that.
I'm back.
You're there, you
I beg
are.
your pardon. I
Oh,
beg your
wasn't
pardon.
it?
The
Oh,
internet
okay,
didn't
okay.
let me
All right.
come in again.
No problem.
Okay.
We've been
Okay.
chatting. We've lost much of the
All
group,
right.
but we've already got Selena, Marcella, myself, Helen, and Graham, who all want individual sessions.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will prepare afterwards the document with all the information that we can do for animals and men and whatever. Okay?
Perfect. And Lisa, look, I can't thank you enough. We don't want to keep you any longer because you've really spent a lot of time with us. But we'd love to have you come back again, and we will be in touch. Is it best to get hold of you on Facebook? Because I don't think you read your emails as much as I do. Facebook the best way to talk to you? Or the website?
Yes and no. If you have a very short, quick question, you can do it in Facebook. Maybe will you be there in 10 minutes or whatever? Yes. But all the questions that need to exchange some information. I have a horse with this and that, and what can I do? Every time about email, and I will type my email again in the chat.
Thank you.
It is Healy@Mosaikmedizin in a German way. I will check if it's okay. In a German way. So it is this. And the email, I'm look twice a day. I'm looking all my emails.
Oh, good.
Of course. But if there's something in between and we don't find ourselves, then I look at the messenger. But I cannot have discussions in the messenger because the field is so tiny and little. I cannot read. And if I have the phone to type all in the, it steals my time.
It wrecks your day. But to be in touch with you, you think it's best to email?
The email, please.
Okay.
The email, please. Yes.
No
Do the email, please, to get in touch. And I have another thing that is important. I have this Thursday, but it's the evening. I have an open office hour, and in our before, and Christine and me, we talked together. We had the conversation, and I thought to set up a horse question and answer session regularly every month in the German morning. This is the afternoon in Australia, and we will do an Australian horse and pet group. Yes.
Good.
Or
That's
horse
wonderful.
and vet group.
Horse and vet group. That's an idea.
We will do. We will ask medical question. My focus is not to sell Healy. My focus is to use how to use information and frequency medicine, and how can you do it at home by yourself for your friends and family and for your horses. And for this, when the experience of this will give me I hope the right to speak, to give you the information, what to do, and take the treasures of my experience to give it to you.
We're so keen. We really are keen to. Oh, Selena's trying to speak. You've muted.
Celine, please unmute yourself.
You've muted.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That sounds so wonderful.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
it's important. It's important because, of course, we all need to exchange about medical questions, and it's nearly not possible to find a channel to take some medical answers concerning frequency and energetic medicine. Yes.
But Lisa, if we, just to ask you then a compliance question, if we record this, you have been talking about medical questions, and if we put it on Facebook, Doc Steve will read it and cancel on Facebook. So
why do you let some people in your group?
Well, we feel that we're beginners and we have to follow the rules a little bit. But what we can do is ask people to direct message me to ask for the link to the recording.
Yes.
Just not give it to Doc Steve.
Yes. Oh my goodness. He was rambling in my workshops and whatever, but I wanted to say nothing.
They're very strict.
He's not member in my group anymore. This is all the one that I want to say.
Right, right. Well, I think, is there another piece of advice that you want to give? Do you think we should not even send out a recording? Actually, Alison, will you be able to talk a bit this recording?
So, I'm very skilled and trained to do no claims, because I'm talking about frequencies and I'm talking about
condition.
my experience.
Yeah.
And I can say what I want.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Germany and I'm a practitioner. I have a certificate from the state of Germany, from the Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Ich bin Heilpraktikerin. I'm a health practitioner. This is an official state in Germany. I am able and I'm allowed to teach and to do treatments and speak about this.
Right.
Yes, I'm trained too to look after the health claims, and I never touch any health claims.
Really?
The other things I said, Healy is for fibromyalgia and pain, and the other hand from anxiety and sleep disorder, and the other things are wellness applications, not more.
Although they have.
I think you can do it public. I have nothing to hide.
Right. Okay. Well, what I think the best case, I'll discuss this with Alison, but I think the best case will be simply to ask people to direct message me if they want the recording.
Yes. Yes.
And
I
then
think so.
the other thing about that is that I get their email and I can add them to my email list, and then we've got an extra person.
That's perfect.
Yes, of course. Why not? Of course. And you can give the document with all the information. You can give to the recording that anyone can read and put it easily. Okay.
Right. That's all. Oh, look, you're so generous, Lisa. Thank you so much. And
my mission is to spread information in the world. This is clear. And how should we do it? With the most easiest way to find the information.
You got a great attitude.
Yeah.
You must have been doing frequencies.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
This is a good idea.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. And I just can't thank you enough. And when will you come back?
Next Monday I can come back, because next Monday we have no team meeting. Normally we have our Mosaic team meeting at 11 o'clock, which is this time in the morning. Right. And we have 2 weeks with no meeting. And these 2 weeks I can offer you.
Great.
And afterwards I will open up the horse vet call, or whatever we want to need it for Australia in the morning too. Great. And which time, Christine, we thought about this but several persons have yet left. We thought about this in our conversation, which is the optimal time for horse people to come to a call.
Not during daylight hours. But what you end up with at this time of night is that people like Selena, who have families, are cooking dinner or having dinner, and it gets too late for me if it starts at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So,
But in the day, then we're riding our horses. So
that's right.
Yes.
And we live in the tropics, so some times of year it's so hot that you have to ride very early or very late.
yeah.
So yeah, it's difficult to find a time that suits everybody, but we can canvass that again and see whether
7 p.m. is
Yeah.
great.
What's in the in the early evening?
Yeah.
7 p.m. was good.
Was it good?
I think so.
Okay. Well, we just picked that. We picked Monday and 7 p.m. because we thought there aren't many meetings on Monday, and 7 is outside of dinner hours a little bit, but not too much into sleeping hours. So
yeah.
Anyway, those were our thoughts. So
what about Thursday? Because Thursday is my public day normally. Thursdays are the workshops. Thursday is the open office hour, and I think Thursday I can add too the horse vet hour.
Right. Well, I think Thursday evening is not the best evening because there are a lot of meetings on Thursday. I don't know why, or my meetings often happen on Thursday evening. However, I think you should, if you're giving away something, was this going to be a free group or a paid for group?
Afterwards, it will be a paid group because I have to do my living too.
Of course you do. Of course you do. So it'll be a small price because there's a group.
It's a small price. Yes, it's a small price. It's to have some questions, an idea who is Lisa and what is she giving for answers, and yes.
Great. So I think that then you choose when, and if Thursday suits you, we just try out Thursday and see who rocks up.
But it will be once a month, yes. So I think once a month Thursday will be possible.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I think so.
And at the same time as today.
I think that's the best time for me. And Selena said yes, and Allison and I talked this over when we first picked the time. So yeah, we're agreed.
Okay. It's 11 o'clock in Germany, and it's the before noon. It's okay.
Fine. Okay. Well.
Okay, I will prepare a Thursday, but next Monday I will come back to you, and maybe there are other horse people, or you have discovered which question you want to pose, because it was very spontaneous today, and we will see what's happening, what will happen next week. I will be with you again, and then maybe I'm able to introduce you the fixed horse vet day monthly.
Great.
Australian horse vet day. Okay, it's Australian because the Americans are sleeping. We are arguing which time would be good for the Americans and the Australians, but if we find one, that will be in the middle of the night with me.
That's the problem. It is impossible to get all of those time zones. And
it's not possible, no. Because in the very morning I'm working with the Australian people, and then over the day with the German people and the European people. And if I want to quit to close my laptop, the American people get up and I can work with them until the night.
Well, you're a busy girl. Thank you so much for taking time for us, and thank you for offering to come back next week. We didn't actually do that little special thing that you were talking about, a video or whatever it was, but we can do that next week.
I didn't understand you. What, please, Christine?
At the beginning, you said there's something special you wanted to show us.
Yes, I wanted, but the internet interruption forced us to do it. Next week, I will show you how the horse wafer goes. Okay.
Perfect. That's it. Yeah, we'd love
just a tiny little idea how to use the horse wafer.
Great. We'd love that. Sounds good. All righty. Well, I'll start sending out emails and we will see you next week. But Lisa, we can't thank you enough for turning up, and we can't wait to use your services further.
Thank you. You're so welcome. And all of your group, I love it. I love you all.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lisa.
Greetings all over the world, and I'm grateful for the internet. Otherwise, we never would have met and never would have exchanged so wonderful.
Thank you.
We're all so lucky. Thank you.
So-
Bye. Good night. Good morning.
Until
Have a
next
good
week.
day.